So I'm going to finish out my pregnancy journey with my daughter, my sixth pregnancy. Where I left off was that the MFM specialist forgot to put in her notes that I was supposed to have take some steroids to help the baby while she was in my womb for her lungs to develop quickly so that when she came, she wouldn't need to be put in the NICU. Of course, she didn't put in her notes, so they didn't know to do it in time. And when I called them 4 days before the C-section was scheduled, they were like, oh, you got to do it like a week or two before your C-section, so it's too late now. And she didn't put that information in the notes, so that's why nobody did it. And of course, I was pissed. So we do the C-section. The cord was around her neck, so thank God we took her out at 36 weeks so that we wouldn't have the same thing happen to her that happened to my daughter before her. And my doctor was just on point. She didn't want me to get pregnant again because she was afraid that there would be scar tissue after having 5 C-sections. She didn't want any issues for me or another baby. So I decided to agree and get my tubes done. And I saw them bitches when she took them out. I could see, like, even though they put that big thing over you so you can't see anything, I could see the reflection in the lights. There were things that I saw there, and I've seen that in every C-section I've ever had, except with the one where I lost my daughter because I didn't want to see anything. And of course, I was heartbroken. So I like seeing that stuff. It doesn't creep me out. I really should have been a doctor. And so there was a girl who was supposed to be taking care of my daughter when she came out and was like, oh, I've always wanted to see something like this. And my doctor gave her the meanest look, which I loved. And her look basically said, go back and take care of that baby and do your job instead of focusing on what I'm doing. So my husband, I saw the look, but I didn't know why. But he explained it to me after the fact, which made me laugh even more. They worked on my daughter. She had, of course, her lungs weren't developed. She was having a hard time breathing, so she had to go to the NICU. Maybe one day I'll share pictures, but she had like this thing over her nose to help her breathe. And within a couple of days, and she had like a wire to feed, not a wire, but like a feeding tube to help her eat. I was able to, one side was better because I got sick off of the epidural again. And I went down to the NICU. I was able to do skin to skin with her. I was able to breastfeed her. I was trying to pump. It took more time this pregnancy for the milk to come out than it did with my others. With my daughter that I lost in my 5th pregnancy, I was huge, but I refused. And this is this is many of the things I regretted in that 5th pregnancy. And I should have mentioned in those videos was that I wish I would have donated my milk because I know there's a lot of moms out there that have a hard time producing milk. And so they need to get it. And I really wish I would have done that. But I was just in the moment and angry. And I was like, this is her milk and she's not here. So I was angry. And listen, when they tell you that if you put cabbage on your breast when you are done breastfeeding and that it will get rid of the milk, they are not lying. I did that. Of course, it smelled weird, but I would put cabbage on my breast and all of a sudden, like within a couple of days, I was no longer engorged and the milk was gone. But that was with my 5th pregnancy. Now on my 6th, it took a while for me to start producing actual milk. I was producing the other stuff, and I keep forgetting the name of it. But the important stuff. So I was producing that. Then I started pumping, and I would bring the milk down, or my sister-in-law would do it for me. This time, my sister-in-law and my brother were able to see the baby because in other pregnancies, they would not allow anyone except the parents and grandparents to see the babies in the NICU. But I only had one child in NICU prior to this one. And so this time, as long as we said it was okay, they allowed the aunt and uncle to go into the NICU. So my brother, for the first time, was able to go in the NICU and spend time with his niece, and so was my sister-in-law. And after 3 days, actually, oh my God, I forgot about this. But I will tell the other stuff in the next video, but the one thing I will say is that my blood pressure dropped dramatically because I had lost a lot of blood. Thank God I didn't have to have a hysterectomy. I didn't have to go to the ICU, and I didn't have to have a transfusion. But I did, my blood pressure did drop, and I fainted when they were trying to have me go to the bathroom for the first time. So they carried me back. I had to get off heart medication because it was like 80 over 69 or something like that. So I had to work on that. And then they also want you to go to the bathroom before you're discharged, and for your blood pressure to be good. So, and for you to be walking. So my sister-in-law stayed with me for the 3 days I was there. My husband would bring the kids after school. She would go to work, and my brother would come visit, and they would get to go to the NICU to see the baby. And I'm going to stop right there because I'm already at 6 minutes. So I will finish out the story tomorrow. And I'll see you then. Thank you guys so much for listening.